You are?
I'm Richard Wesley,
Yes.
and I grew up at 100 Chapel Street, right across the street from the Terrell Homes here. Except in those days it was known as Riverview Court, and then it became the Franklin Delano Roosevelt Homes, and most of the kids I played with growing up lived here inside the court, so I was over here all the time.
Okay. So what years are we talking about here? Approximately.
1945 when I was born, right up until I guess my freshman year or the end of my freshman year in high school, 1960.
And when you're at Eastside High School?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You finished up there?
Finished up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Once you
We moved
graduated?
up to Congress Street, so I was still in the Ironbound.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So what brings you back here today?
The reunion.
The reunion.
Yes. I was contacted by Nancy Zach about it and everything, and she asked if I would, want to come down and be a part of it and everything, and yeah, so here I am.
So is this your first time back in a long time, or?
It's my first time in this building since I was in high school.
My goodness.
So yeah, we're talking quite a bit of time.
So what are your fondest memories of the old days?
Ooh, okay, well, starting with this building here, this is where Mr. Terrell and the other members of the Tenants Association used to have they used to have dances and they used to show movies. For some reason, I particularly remember the movies much more than the dances and the parties and things. But during the summers, on weekends, they had chairs set up. There was a central aisle, so chairs on either side, and there was a portable screen right about here. Up there, and they had a projector, and they would show movies, and we would come over all the time and watch film.
Wow. Nighttime?
It was in the nighttime. It was usually, I want to say it was a Saturday night.
Okay, so Richard, coming back here, looking around, what are some of your fondest memories of the quote-unquote old days?
The old days. Well, this room.
Yeah.
This was where we used to come as kids, and Mr. Terrell and Mr. Tate, Mr. Dickerson, and Mr. Johnson, and the other parents, they had organized this room. Sometimes it was used for a canteen, for dances. Other times they showed films.
Nice.
Outside there used to be a basketball court.
There still is, in fact.
Yeah.
Which is tented over.
Okay. Well, where that tent was, that was the basketball court, and sometimes we played out there. But this area of Newark in those days was really heavily football and baseball. So, the basketball court didn't get used very much. That was for the kids on the other side of town.
Did you play football and baseball?
I did both. But once I got to high school, I gravitated more to track.
Okay.
And so I think my freshman and sophomore years, there was some basketball and football, but by the time I was a junior and senior, I was track full time.
Nice. There's an old staff member of Ironbound Community Corporation, older than you and me, Mr. Fenner, James Fenner. His nephew became a track star at Eastside High School.
Oh, really?
Yes, I don't know if that rings a bell to you at all, but he lived down in this neighborhood hereabouts. James Fenner. Yeah. He's not so tall, but he's definitely older than you.
Okay.
When I knew him back then, he was about our age.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I probably saw his name or something in the high school record book and everything, but no, I don't remember Mr. Fenner from when I was growing up.
So, community-wise,
Yes.
what was the sense of it around here? Family life, community life, kids playing, whatever.
We all knew each other. Because of the size of the facility itself, it's very intimate. It's not like the high rises up in the Central Ward back in the day. Down here, everything was kind of, the buildings are only 3 stories tall. There were only 6 families to each entrance. I think that's how it broke down. And it was easy for everyone to get to know A lot of the families moved in around the same time, a 5-year period, 6-year period, say from 1946 to 1952. A lot of the families came in right around the same time. And so so the kids started going together. And even if the adults didn't know each other, didn't really socialize, the families were connected to the children.
Yeah.
So we all played in this courtyard here. And played outside too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we played outside a lot.
So what was the riverfront like here in those days?
Different than it is now.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Where Riverbank Park and Hayes Park were the only two parks around here. So you had to go a little bit of a distance to get to them. Hayes Park was certainly popular because of the pools were active there.
Right.
And during the summertime, that's where a lot of us, when it was too hot to be out here, it usually was, we would go over to Hayes Pool and sit around there. Getting up to Riverbank was something of a treat. We didn't do that on a regular basis, at least in my generation, until all of us were old enough to ride bikes.
So I'm curious, how racially integrated was Hayes Pool at that time? How welcome did you all feel there?
I don't remember a problem black and white. I do remember in the late 1950s, there was an assault on some Puerto Rican kids by some of the white kids. That was like 1957, 56, 57, somewhere in there, because up until that point, there were not very many Latino people even living in this part of the world. And it was around that time that some of the first large migration of Puerto Ricans from the island to the mainland began to happen, particularly in this part of the country. I think we were aware of it in, like in Newark, but Newark not so much. But starting around then, some of the first Latino families moved in, and I remember Mr. Terrell made a pointed effort to find out, first, who spoke English well. Secondly, did they want to join the tennis association?
He was an organizer.
He was organizing.
Through,
there was a father. He was kind of tall. He had dark hair and a gold tooth. He had dark curly hair and a gold tooth.
You're not after me to come up with that name, are you?
No. But he became the go-to person for Mr. Terrell. He was the one Mr. Terrell pulled into the tennis association. I don't know that he really wanted to be in the tennis association, but he spoke English well. He had leadership capability. Even as a 12-year-old, I could see that. And certainly Mr. Terrell, as an adult, he definitely must have seen it. He pulled that guy, and that guy became part of the tennis association.
Before I ask you a little more about Mr. Terrell, I'm just curious. So around here, Terrell and Chapel Street, what was the ethnic racial makeup in that day? 45 to 50, 50 to 55?
Well, what I remember about Hawkins Street School was, if I go back to my own class, our graduation picture, about 30% of the students in that class, in that one graduation picture, were black. It was a racially mixed area down here. Everybody was basically from the same working class background. All our fathers worked in these factories, or in factories like them in other parts of the city. Those families where the mothers were not stay-at-home moms, they were clerks and sales ladies in the department stores downtown.
Which was happening
in those days. Up until, I I'd say I'd say the late 50s, like 57, 58, 57 and 58 in particular. Roosevelt was very, very much integrated. But by the time I moved in 1960, and certainly by the time I was a sophomore, junior in high school, junior in 1962, Terrell Homes, the racial mix had definitely shifted. It was mostly black and Latino homes.
Which as it is today.
Which is what it is today.
Yeah. So, Mr. Terrell,
Yes.
Millard. So a
Millard.
little more about Millard. I'd love to hear a little bit more about him. Obviously, he was a real go-getter around
Yes,
here.
he was.
I mean, an organizer of tenants and
Yes.
kept the place socially cohesive, it sounds like.
Yes, he was one of a number of parents who were like that. But I would have to say Mr. Terrell was the leader of it. Initially, he might not, my memory of him was he was just one of the parents. I didn't know how much of a leader he was until later on when I was older.
Yeah.
There was him, a fellow named Leroy Johnson. Okay, he lived. Mr. Terrell was in apartment 2B. Mr. Johnson and his family lived in apartment 3A, and this was in the first court down. I forgot where the number is.
Right.
First court down that way, and there was also Mr. Dickerson and Mr. Tate. They lived in the second court, but I don't remember what the apartment number was. They were all married. They were all married men. They were all veterans. Mr. Johnson and Mr. Terrell were World War II vets. Mr. Tate and Mr. Dickerson were veterans of the Korean War. So they were a little bit younger. In those days, I think Mr. Terrell and Mr. Johnson were just entering their 40s. Tate and Dickerson were decidedly younger. They may have been in their late 20s or early 30s. But what I remember about them was they formed this quartet of adults that all of us younger boys generally gravitated to, especially when we got to high school age. We used to sit around and listen to them talk and, all the time. They had a very, very profound effect on me. Outside of my dad, they probably had more of an effect on me than almost any men I can think of.
There are tenants today, who've been here quite a long time.
Yes, I heard, and I read also in a couple articles about it.
And they talk about this, community being a village.
Yes, that is a perfect description of it. Because of the size, the small size of the apartment complex itself, and because there were so many built-in services that emanated out of this building, and sometimes just out of the kind of attention that you got from the various parents and everything, it was easy for all of us always to be together. Kids all went to Walker Street School, so we all knew each other in school, and we didn't have sleepovers so much as we just all hung out all the time, and we were all underfoot.
So today, unfortunately, there's an interest by the housing authority in closing down this complex, and that's what a lot of tenants here are very concerned about, losing, what they've had for decades, losing what they consider their village once upon a time. They have a vision of this, becoming much more community-minded again.
I think.
I'm just curious, what you're thinking these days.
I think it's possible. Yes, and I think it should happen. It certainly was something. It was a character of this place back in those days, as it was with Hyatt Court. They had the same kind of cohesiveness there. Well, maybe a little less. Here, because Hyatt Court, I think those days, Hyatt Court is larger. This one is smaller, and everything is so intimate, and everyone is so close together. And, and like I said, everyone knew each other. Like, they had parents who were roughly the same age, kids who were growing up who were roughly the same age. There was a lot of, just a lot of closeness. And it is easy to reproduce that if you have people who are dedicated to building up the same kind of connectedness. And this kind of structure lends itself to it. It's U-shaped. You have a roadway that runs in, it's all one way. You come in this way, you go around, and you go out that way. The buildings are clustered around that roadway. And so, it's like everybody just sees everybody all the time.
Has this potential to be a building.
Yes, yes it does. Terrell Homes is to me. I lived here in this neighborhood. I never lived in the core itself. I lived right across the street in 100 Chapel Street. But most of my childhood friends and many of the adults who helped shape me and made me the person that I have become lived here in the Terrell home. I think the most important thing, because I've been hearing about how the city had wanted to tear this complex down, and I see, in spite of the fact that so much money was put into building that park over there, there seemed to be some kind of reluctance on the part of some folks to allow or make it possible for the people who live here to be in the park that's right there. And that's not right, because so much of what this part of the Ironbound is because of you. It's because of the people who live here. It's because of the people who have made families and have built lives right here. That park is not possible without you. It's not possible without the energy and the love that you put into this space here. That's why so many people are trying to get their hands on this space now. But this space belongs to the people who built it, the people who nurtured it, the people who keep the blood flowing through it, you. So it's kind of hard for me to feel a great deal of joy or pride in that park, as long as there's a sense that that park does not belong in part to you. Okay, so I don't have to shout anymore. Right. I feel the way I do because I remember what it was like to grow up here. I was surrounded every day by friends. I was nurtured, watched over, and when it was necessary, straightened out by a collective of adults who raised children here in this complex. They were part of the community that kept Hawkins Street School alive. They were part of the community that kept the farmers market thriving. They were part of the community that kept this part of the Ironbound in the consciousness of people who needed to be conscious of it. A judge in the Superior Court in the state of New Jersey grew up here. A couple of major athletic stars from Eastside High School grew up here. A major portion of the public schools in the city of Newark, in terms of teachers and principals, grew up here in this complex. That's right. This complex is part of the history of the city of Newark. And this complex deserves to be maintained It deserves to be supported in every way that is possible. Because who knows, the future of Newark may be within the hearts of some of these small children that you see right out here right now. They deserve the chance, the opportunity, the encouragement to move forward to be the best that they can be. And that does not involve them having to see a wrecking ball coming and destroying their home.
Yes, yes,
I have the fondest memories, I was saying earlier. I have the fondest memories of this building right here. Mr. Terrell, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Tate, Mr. Dickerson,
that's right.
they used to gather us in this building on the weekends, during the summers, to watch movies, along with their wives and with some of the other mothers in the buildings that you see right along here. They organized dances for us. We learned to socialize. We learned to be responsible adults in this building because of the work that those parents put in getting us to act like we were supposed to be acting. And I also remember Ms. Fortenberry, I was telling some folks earlier, but she was just a little baby then. So.
And you too.
But you see.
You don't remember me?
Oh, see, now you're going to get me in trouble.
Hey.
Oh my goodness!
Hey.
Linda!
Yes,
All right, girl. Okay. All right. So now you get a sense of what I'm talking about. Because the head of your tennis association is a child of this village. Remind me about that. She's a child of this village. Linda is a child of this village. And now they're moving into positions of leadership. And that leadership comes from having lived here, grown up here, being nurtured here, being encouraged here, and it should not stop. It should not stop because we have all these little children here who are going along the same path and need the chance to enjoy the same fruits. Thank you.
Thank you.